Yeah, so first let us see what are the prerequisites for learning Selenium. And actually, so in the market, yeah, give me one minute. So the main purpose of automation testing is, so earlier in the manual testing, so test cases creation and test cases execution and sending the test results. So all those things we are going to do manually. If we do the same thing with the help of some tool or some software, we can call that as automation testing. So in the market, there are many tools available for automation testing. So earlier, most of the companies were using QDB, but from the past few years, most of the companies are using Selenium. Okay. So the reason for going for Selenium is QTP is a commercial software. So if you want to use QTP in your project, you need to purchase the license, and that is also very costly. Whereas coming to the Selenium, Selenium is open source. So if you want to use Selenium, you don't need to pay anything. You can download Selenium for free, and you can use in our testing. So as the Selenium is open source, that is the reason why most of the companies are joining. Most of the companies are using Selenium. And in 1 minute, I'll just so as the Selenium is open source, that is the reason why most of the companies are using Selenium. So in QTP, it supports both web applications as well as desktop applications. Coming to the Selenium, Selenium doesn't support any desktop applications. It is purely supports web applications. And in Selenium, if you want to automate, we can use multiple programming languages. Selenium supports Java, C Sharp, Ruby, PHP, Python. So these are the different programming languages that are supported by Selenium. And in QTP, it is going to support only VB script. And suppose let's say in Selenium, you want to automate a web application using Selenium, and your web application is developed in C Sharp. It doesn't mean that you have to use Selenium with C Sharp. Though your application is developed in any programming language, still we can make use of any of these programming languages to work with your application. So I can use Selenium with Java or Selenium with C Sharp or Selenium with Ruby or Selenium with PHP or Selenium with Python. So any of the programming languages can be used along with Selenium to automate your application. Okay. So now let us see what are the prerequisites for learning Selenium. The first thing is you should know manual testing, and so you should know manual testing, that is the first prerequisite. Then we should know core Java. Then we should know Selenium Webdriver. Then TestNG, and then we should know about Maven. Then we should know Jenkins and Grid. So these are the topics that you should understand in order to write any Selenium automation project, or if you want to automate any Selenium project, you should have idea on all those things. So we should know core manual testing, then core Java, and in the core Java, you don't need to learn the complete core Java. If you learn up to exception handling, that is fine. Then Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium WebDriver is used to interact with browsers. Suppose if you want to interact with Firefox or Chrome or IE or Safari, or if you want to launch different browsers, or if you want to interact with drop-downs, checkboxes, so everything can be controlled using Selenium WebDriver. Then we have TestNG. So TestNG is a tool which is used to control your test cases. Suppose you have written test cases in Selenium WebDriver, and let's say I have 100 test cases. So first I would like to execute this test case, then I would like to execute this test case, or I want to skip these test cases. All those things can be controlled with the help of TestNG. So now next we have Maven. So Maven is a build tool. So if you want to build your project, we can make use of Maven. So next we have Jenkins. So Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. Suppose let's say I would like to execute my test cases every day at 10 p.m. So what you can do is using Jenkins, you can schedule those test cases. Then Jenkins is going to execute those test cases automatically for you every day at 10 p.m. Okay. So when you schedule them, it will automatically run those test cases night at 10 p.m. or whatever the time you have configured, it is going to execute those test cases at that time. So now, as part of this course, we are going to learn Core Java and Selenium Webdriver, TestNG, Maven, and Jenkins. Finally, we have a grid. So grid is a tool which is used for running your test cases parallelly on multiple systems. Suppose let's say I have 100 test cases. I would like to execute those 100 test cases parallel on different systems. On one browser on one operating system on Chrome browser, on another operating system on IE browser, let's say. If you want to execute parallelly, then we can make use of Selenium Grid. Okay. So now today we can start with the core Java. Okay. So actually demo is already done, but this is the first session. If you want to see the demo, I'm going to share that link with you, or I will send you the video. Okay. So first let us discuss about Java properties. So properties of Java. So because as part of this course we are going to learn Selenium to Java. So because of that, I'm just starting with the core Java. Once the core Java is done, then we'll go for Selenium Webdriver. Then we'll go for Maven. We'll go for TestNG. Then we'll go for Maven. Then we'll go for Jenkins. And then we'll go for Selenium Grid. Once all these topics are done, I'm going to cover a sample project for you. Okay. So now let us discuss what are the properties of Java. The first property is Java is an object-oriented programming language. So what if you want to call any programming language as object-oriented programming language, then that the language should support the following features. One is abstraction and encapsulation and inheritance and polymorphism. So if any programming language supports all those four features, I can say that programming language as object-oriented programming language. So if you go to Java, Java is going to support abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Hence, I can say Java as object-oriented programming language. So now let us discuss what is abstraction. So normally abstraction means only showing the required things and hiding the unnecessary things or implementation is called abstraction. Suppose if I take an example of car. So if you want to drive a car, if you have access for steering, gears, accelerator, seats, those things are fine. So if you want to drive a car, you don't need to have access for engine, how engine works, all those details are not required for us. So that is why in real time also, only the details that are required for us, only those things will be provided access. That means steering, gear, accelerator, only for those things we will be having the access. Engine, internal details, everything will not be having access for us. So in this way, only showing the required details and hiding the unnecessary details is called abstraction. Again, take one example of Facebook. So in the Facebook, you will be having privacy settings option. Okay. Suppose let's say you want to make your profile visible to everyone. Then I can say who can see your profile. If I set this to public, then everyone can access your profile. Everyone will be able to see your profile, because here you want to make your profile visible to everyone. Because of that reason, you made that as public. That means you are providing access to everyone. And suppose, let's say, I don't want to make my profile visible to everyone. I want to make this visible to only your friends of friends. So I am going to set this as friends of friends. So if I say set this as friends of friends, then only your friends and their friends can see your profile. Other people cannot see your profile. So here you are feeling that you don't want to make your profile visible to everyone. You want to control your profile. So that is why you have set this to friends of friends. So this is also one type of abstraction where you are limiting your audience based on these settings. Okay. So in Java, we can achieve abstraction using following keywords. We have private, we have following four access specifiers: public, private, protected, and default. So we have these four access specifiers in Selenium in Java, with the help of which we can control the data. And we can discuss these things in detail in the coming sessions. Okay. Next we have encapsulation. So what is meant by encapsulation? Encapsulation means binding the two things together. So binding things together is called encapsulation. Suppose, let's say, you take an example of medical capsule. So this is a medical capsule or tablet, and internally it is going to have different chemicals together. That means all these different chemicals have been binded inside this medical tablet. In this way, binding the things together is called the encapsulation. So in Selenium, we can achieve encapsulation using classes and objects. Okay. So later I will let you know how to achieve encapsulation and how to achieve abstraction. Next we have inheritance. So what is meant by inheritance? Inheritance means getting the properties from parent class to child class is called inheritance. In Java, we have parent classes, parent class, and also we have child class. So we will be able to access the details of parent class and the child class, or we can get the properties of a parent to child using inheritance. So in Java, we can achieve inheritance using extends keyword. Okay. So we can achieve abstraction using public, private, protect, and default, these access specifiers, and we can achieve encapsulation using classes and objects, and we can achieve the inheritance using extends keyword. Next we have polymorphism. So what is meant by polymorphism? So polymorphism means same thing with a different forms. Suppose something is behaving differently at different situations, we can call that as polymorphism. If I take a real-time example of men or women, the same person is going to behave differently at different situations. So the same person will behave differently at his friends, differently at his colleagues, differently at its friends. That means the same person is going to behave differently at different situations. So this is called polymorphism, same thing with different forms. So in Java, we can achieve polymorphism using method overloading and inheritance and method overriding. So these different concepts, or these are different ways that we can achieve polymorphism in Java. So we are going to discuss in detail how these things can be done in coming sessions. And next thing is Java is platform independent. So what is meant by platform For example, I have a C program. I have created this C program on Windows operating system. So the same C program I am trying to execute on Linux or Unix or Mac. So these are different other operating systems. So I have created a C program on Windows operating system. The same C program I am trying to execute on Linux or Unix or Mac on Mac machines. Then you will not be able to execute because C is platform dependent. That means if I create a C program on Windows operating system, it can be executed only on Windows operating system. If you try to execute this on other operating system, it will not be able to execute because since this is platform dependent, we cannot run on multiple systems. Suppose if you take Java, Java is platform independent. That means you can create a Java program on any operating system and you can execute that on any operating system. So let's say I have created a Java program on Windows operating system. The same Java program I'm trying to execute on Linux or Unix or Mac. So still you can execute because it is platform independent. You can create a Java program on any operating system and you can execute that on any operating system. So next thing is Java supports multi-threading. So before that, let us see what is thread. Thread is nothing but a program in execution. Thread is a program in execution. Okay. So multi-threading means if you are able to execute multiple programs at a time, we can call that as multi-threading. For example, if I take a Windows operating system, in Windows operating system, each program is called as a task. So here I have opened the Paint, I have opened Notepad++, and I am running the GoToMeeting. I open the Chrome browser. That means here I am able to run multiple tasks at a time. At the same time, I am using all these things. So this is called multitasking. If you are able to execute multiple programs parallelly, we can call that as multitasking in Windows operating system. In the same way in Java, you will be able to execute multiple programs at a time. So we can call it as multi-threading. Okay. So now let us discuss about flavors of Java. So we have following flavors in Java. The first one is Java SE, then we have Java EE, and we have Java ME. Okay. So Java ME means Java Mobile Edition, and it is used to develop the mobile applications. And we have Java EE. Java EE means Java Enterprise Edition, and Java EE is having following modules or features. It is having JSPs and servlets and EJBs and JDBs. Okay. So Java ME means Java Mobile Edition. Java EE means Java Enterprise Edition. So it is used for developing the mobile applications. Java EE is used to develop the web applications. And Java SE is going to contain core Java. So as part of Selenium, we are not going to develop any application. We are not going to develop any mobile applications or any web applications. The main use of Selenium is just to automate your existing test cases. So you don't need to learn Java EE or Java ME. These are not required for learning Selenium. So if you learn core Java, this is enough for Selenium. Okay. So as part of this course, we are going to learn core Java. First we will learn core Java. Okay. So now these are all about the properties of Java. So now let us discuss about Java data types. So Java is having 8 data types. We can call those 8 data types as primitive data types. Primitive data types in Java. So we have 8 primitive data types. So for storing integers, we have byte and short and int. So these are the 3 different data types which are used to store the integer values. And if you want to store the decimal values, we have long, float, double. So using these 3 data types, we can store decimal data. Next we have char. This is used to store the single character, and we have Boolean. This is used to store the true or false. So now we discussed that byte, short and int. These 3 are used to store the integer values. Now let us see what is the difference between byte, short and int. Suppose let's say I have declared a variable as byte x. So here x is a byte variable, and a byte variable can hold the data from minus 278 to 278 to 268 to 267. Okay. So if you want to use a byte variable, then it can hold the data from minus 268 to 267. So it can hold the data only within this range. Suppose if I say byte x is equal to 268, it is going to 269, let's say, it is going to give an error because this value is not falling in this range. Okay. And if I say x is equal to minus 277, then again it is going to give an error because this is not going to fall within this range. So this is 277 minus 277 to 278. Okay. Yeah. So, and one more thing is the byte is going to occupy 1 byte of memory. So next we have one more variable, that is short. One more data type, short. So if I declare a variable as short x, so it can hold the data from minus 32,677 to 32,678. So this is the range of a byte variable. So a byte variable can, a short variable can hold the data from minus 32,677 to 32,678, and it is going to occupy 2 bytes of memory. And if you want to store the data more than this range, then we have to go for int. So a byte can hold the values from minus 267 to 268, and it can occupy 1 byte of memory, whereas a short variable can hold the data from minus 32,677 to 32,678, and it can occupy 2 bytes of memory. And we have an int. So the range of the int is, suppose let's say I have declared a variable as int x, so it can hold the data from minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. So this is the range of a int variable, and it can occupy 4 bytes of memory. So so depending on the requirement, we have to go for byte, short or int. So if you would like to store the data only within this range, minus 267 to 268, use for byte. And if you want to store the data more than this range, then go for short. A short can hold the data from minus 32,677 to 32,678. And if I go to int, it can hold the data from minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. And it is going to occupy 4 bytes of memory. And next thing is we have long, float and double. So same here. Long can hold up to some data, even more go for float, even more go for double. But these 3 data types are used to store the decimal data. And let me show you the range. I will show you the range of these decimal data types. So as I said, so yeah, sorry. So byte can hold from -128 to 127. Sorry, this is -128, -128 to 127, and the start can hold -32,768. Yeah, hi Manisha, tell me. Hello. Yeah, Manisha, can you tell me? Hello, Manisha. Okay, so this is 767. So a byte can hold from -128 to. Yeah, okay, Manisha. Actually, this course contains a Java course as well. So Java session may take around 12 sessions. Okay. So as part of this course, I am going to cover core Java as well. That is fine for you, right? Yeah. So a byte can hold from -128 to 127, and it occupies 1 byte of memory. And short can hold from -32,768 to 32,767, and an int can hold -2 power 31 to 2 power 31 -1. So this is the range of int. Then we can go for long. Long can hold up to this range. Even more, go for float. Then we have double. So first long, if you want to store the data more than this range, then go for float. More than this range, go for double. Okay. Next we have a char data type. So suppose let's say I have a declared a variable as char x. Then if you declare a variable as a char, it can hold one character at a time. So x can be 1, and I can say x is equal to dollar, or x is equal to a, and that means a char can hold any single character. It can be a digit, or it can be a special character, or it can be alphabet. So here I have given x is equal to 1, x is equal to dollar, and x is equal to a. And make sure that all these values should be given within a single quotes. Suppose if I give x is equal to double 1, it is going to give an error, because here you have given 11, which is having two characters. We know that the char cannot store more than one character. So here you have given 11, which is two characters. So it is going to give an error. So this is invalid. Next we have Boolean. Boolean can hold only either true or false. It can hold two true or false at a time. Suppose I have declared Boolean x, then it can hold either true or false. X can be true or x can be false. Okay. So these 8 data types we can call as primitive data types. Apart from that, we have object data types. Object data types. So first we have a string. I can say string x is equal to hello $123. So a string can hold collection of characters. A string can hold a combination of digits and special character and digits. And if you see here, a string should be given within the double quotes. And a string can hold the memory. Suppose normally we discussed that a char can hold 1 byte of memory. So here how many characters I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters we have. So it occupies 9 bytes of memory. So a string, the memory of the string can be calculated based on the number of characters. Okay. So these are the object data types. Apart from string, we have some other object data types. Those object data types I can discuss in the coming sessions. We'll be having robber classes. In these robber classes, I am going to explain you about the other object data types. Okay. So now let us see what are the prerequisites in order to work with Java. So if you want to work with Java, you need to have the following things. So environment, required for Java. So the first thing is you should have Java installed. First thing is we have Java software. So if you want to work with core Java, first you need to have the Java software. The preferable one is JDK 1.8. And the next thing is you should have IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. So we have Eclipse and NetBeans and IntelliJ. So these are the different tools. So first we should install JDK 1.8. Then we have IDE. So there are many IDEs: Eclipse, NetBeans, and IntelliJ IDEA. So what is the use of IDE? IDE means Integrated Development Environment. The main use of IDE is in order to write your programs. If you want to write your programs, or if you want to manage your project, or if you want to manage more than one project, so all those things can be done with the help of the IDE. Normally, if you want to write the Java programs in Notepad also, you can write. But if suppose, let's say normally in the project you will have some lakhs of files, some thousands of files. So it is difficult to maintain all those files in Notepad files. So in order to manage your projects effectively, or in order to modify your projects effectively, we can make use of IDE. So there are many IDEs available in the market. We have Eclipse, NetBeans, and IntelliJ IDEA. We are going to use Eclipse. So Eclipse will be easy to use, and most of the companies are using Eclipse. So we'll go with the Eclipse. Okay. So now let us see how to install JDK 1.8 and also how to install Eclipse. So to download the JDK 1.8, you can just go to Google and I can say download JDK 1.8 and go to the first link. Click on this and we have here Java SE Development Kit 8U121. So click on accept license agreement and here you can see. So we have Java software available for different versions, and we have Linux and Mac, Solaris and Windows. So we want to work with Windows because currently I am working with Windows. So depending on the operating system, we have to download the corresponding Java software. If you are using Mac, go with this, and if you are using Solaris, go with this, and if you are using Windows, we can go with. Again, in the Windows we have two types: Windows x86 and Windows x64. So x86 is for 32-bit operating system, x64 is for 64-bit operating system. Okay. So now I want to work with Windows. Depending on the operating system, you have to select. So first, let us see your operating system type, because if I want to download, you need to know which type of what type of operating system you are using, whether that is 32-bit or 64-bit. So in order to know the type of operating system, you can go to My Computer. Actually, if you are using Windows 7 or less, here you will be seeing My Computer. And if you are using Windows 8 or more, you will be seeing this PC. Just right click on this PC and go to Properties. And if you observe here, we are seeing system type as 64-bit operating system. Okay. So since my operating system is 64-bit, I have to download the this x64 software. Click on this. So it is going to download Windows x64. Okay. So download that. Once that is downloaded, you have to install that. So I'll go to download, and so if you want to install that, just double click. That's it. There is no special settings or special configurations in installing the Java. Okay. So just double click on that, and click on next, next, next like that until it finishes the installation. So if it is already there in our system, you don't need to install. If it is not already installed in our system, then download the JDK 1.8 and install that. Okay. So in installation of JDK, you will not be having any special configurations. You can just run the file, click on next, next, next until the software is installed. And next is how we have to download the Eclipse. So just go to Google and I can say download Eclipse for Java EE developers. And go to the first link, click on this. So I already installed Java in my machine. That is why I am just cancelling. If you don't already have Java in your system, just click on next. If you click on next, again it will ask for the option. You don't need to change anything. Again click on next. That's it. It is going to install. Okay. So again I want to download the Eclipse. So just download Eclipse. Click enter. Download Eclipse for Java EE developers. Then you will see Eclipse for Java EE developers. Click on this. And so right side again you will be having 32-bit, 64-bit, Mac, Linux, like that you have different operating systems. So depending on the operating system you have to download the corresponding one. Since I am using Windows 64-bit, I am clicking on this. So click on this and it is ask you to save this zip file. Click on save. Once you have saved that, then you will see the following zip file. You will see this zip file, then extract the zip file. Once you extract this, then you will be seeing the following folder. Eclipse, this folder you will see, open that. Inside that you will be seeing one more Eclipse folder, open that. Then you can see eclipse.exe. You will have two, this one and this one. Among those things we have to run this eclipse.exe. So run this. So this is the Eclipse. So Eclipse is not installable software. You just need to download the zip file and extract that. Once extracting that, you will see eclipse.exe. And one more thing is, if you want to open the Eclipse, then you must have the Java software. Without the Java software, you will not be able to open the Eclipse. So make sure to install the Java before working with Eclipse. Yeah, it will take some time initially for loading. So whenever it is loaded, it is going to ask for you workspace path. Yeah, it's taking some time for loading initially. One more thing is, actually once this session is done, I'm going to send the recorded video to your email. So you are going to get the video to your email from vtransfer.com. Okay. You will be getting an email with this session with to your email from vtransfer.com, and that looks like this. You have to download that. So you will be getting an email like this. Yeah. So you will get an email like this, WeTransfer, and here you will see one link. So you have to click on this link. If you click on this link, then it will ask you to download the video. You can see that it will ask, yeah, see here, it is asking for download. Once you click on download, a zip file will be downloaded. If you extract that, inside that you will be seeing one video. So that video, if you want to play, you can play that using the Windows Media Player, or you can play with VLC Media Player. Okay. So anyway, actually it seems there is a problem with my Eclipse. So if you run this, it will just open the Eclipse. Okay. After opening, it will just ask you for a path workspace. You will be getting one name with the workspace. In the workspace, we have to provide the path of a project where you want to store. The workspace is the place where all of your projects are going to be stored. See here. Once you open that, you will get a field like this, workspace. So this workspace is the path where all of your Java programs will be stored. Once you open the Eclipse and if you create any programs or any project, everything will go under this workspace. This is the location. And make sure this location should be right accessible. Or by default it will populate with some path. You can keep that path as well. Okay. Click on OK. Okay. Yeah. So once it has been opened, so once it open, then it will ask you to create projects if you want to write the programs. So for the next session, please install the Java software and Eclipse. So from the next session onwards, we are going to start with programming. So I will let you know about different operators in Java. Once the operators are done, try to write the programs and we'll play around the Java programs. So once you open the Eclipse, you will see like this. Initially, you will not see any projects here. Okay. So in the next session, I am going to explain you how to create the project in Eclipse, how to run those, everything we can discuss in the tomorrow session. Okay. So tomorrow also same time, you can join using the same link. So whatever the link I sent today, that is going to be the link for every day. Okay. Until our course completes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.